there are some big changes coming to the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Country Bear previews. Country Bears are almost here. So much tonight on ParksCenter. Welcome to ParksCenter for July 7th, 2024. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. Thank you guys, as always, for being with us. You know the drill. Please subscribe to WDWNT-TV for all the great content, and also give this video a thumbs up because you know what? We're attention whores. That's what it is. With me tonight is our lovely panel, starting with Stephanie.
Hey, Rob. Hey, everybody. Just call me Stephanie from the Floor de Bayou tonight.
I'm gonna noodle on that. Desi?
I guess you can call me Desi from the block.
Dude, save us. Patrick.
Hey, I am also an older hip-hop lyric.
That was awful. That was almost worse than technical difficulty starting the show off, people. That was, oh, what the heck. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks so much for everybody for joining us on your Sunday night for ParksCenter. So let's get into it with, unfortunately, a little bit of sad news. Jon Landau, who is the producer of such huge movies as Titanic and Avatar The Way of Water, and also some co-producers of some Disney movies like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Unfortunately, he passed away, lost his battle to cancer just a couple days ago at the age of 63. And you know what? He was so excited when it came to Disney parks and the Avatar projects that they were putting in the parks. Just watching any video that we ever saw of him, and he just wanted to, he was interviewed and showing people all kinds of stuff. And, there was a picture of him at Imagineering that we got to see, and he was just ecstatic to be there. Patrick, do you have any thoughts on this one? I mean, again, a great man, and sad to see anybody go, but this was it's sad.
An absolute giant of the industry, and I think I know he was excited. I think he also pushed pretty hard for the Avatar project, and it is a much better land than it is a movie. So Jon Landau did a lot of great things, and he will be missed.
A better land than it is a movie. That was that's harsh. Okay, Desi.
I'm going to agree with Patrick. A better land than it was a movie. Do I care about the movie Avatar? No, it wasn't one of my favorites. I haven't seen the second one. I'm not at all interested in any of the rest of the movies. But I am interested in what they could possibly do for the park because I love the land. It's one of my favorite lands in any Disney park. And he, had a hand in that. And 63 is so young. That's so sad. I'm so sorry to hear that. But he will be missed. And hopefully his legacy with creating amazing upgrades to that land will continue.
Yep. And Stephanie?
Yeah, he was very instrumental in a lot of different projects, but especially the Avatar. And I don't know, you don't have Joe Rohde anymore. You don't have Jon Landau. I don't know what they're really going to come up with for Disneyland, unfortunately, but hopefully it's something good.
Yeah, agree. Here's that photo that I was struggling so desperately to get up, but there he is at Disney Imagineering, and again, Jon Landau passed away at 63. So let's move on to some uplifting-ish news. Apparently, the tropical trailers are coming. Oh boy, we know that the Tropical Americas is a thing that's happening to poor Dino Land. Dino Land USA will be no more, and now there is actual permits being filed for trailers coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom. There's a site that is north of Kali River Rapids, where they're bringing in all the trailers and getting started. Stephanie, do you think they're like trying to roll all this stuff into place? D23, the Ultimate Fan event, I'm trying to break myself from saying Expo, is opening up in just over 30 days. So do you think they're trying to get some stuff in place to like be able to go, hey, shovels are hitting the ground?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, what else are they going to announce? You've got Epic Universe over here with Universal, and what are they going to say? So, yeah, they absolutely have to have something going, and they have to, Bio Reconstruct is going to be on top of things. So they have to actually put some money where their mouth is and come up with something. But the last time I was in Disney, of course, I walked through Dinoland and, went to Restaurantosaurus probably for the last time. It made me really sad, tear. I do love
Yeah.
Indy though.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's the thing. And Desi, I know you love Indiana Jones. It's the tropical Americas, and the one that we know, the ride that we know that we think they're cloning out of California is in India. Do you think they'll give us a different storyline, or are we like walking
But
through like a portal?
but the one in Tokyo is in Mexico, so maybe we will get that version of it, or maybe we'll get something brand new. That would be even better. But yeah, I'm excited for an indie ride either way, but my heart still breaks for Dinosaur. I love that ride.
Yeah, Patrick, you too love Dinosaur Dino Land.
I love Dinosaur. I could take or leave Dinoland. I like the effort that they go into explaining why it looks so cheap, and you know what? It works. I'm very excited. I hope there's like Tonito's Menagerie. There's a lot of possibility here. I just hope it's not another land full of promise and no execution.
Well, I mean, of course it's going to be that. I mean,
I don't, but I just hope. That's why the word hope is there. It's hope.
yes,
A
of
new
course.
hope that a
A
land
new
is,
hope.
a new
Yeah.
hope. Yeah.
You know, the bummer for me, and I
Well,
think I've talked about this before, is that the original plan to put in Moana and Zootopia made me so happy. I was like, yeah, do that. Like, I don't really know how Moana ties into the land, but Zootopia feels like it ties into the park. But as soon as they announced that the Clawhauser animatronic was going at the Tree of Life, I was like, we're not getting that. So I talked about this before. Is that like we go every time we go back and we revisit everything that we think is going to be going away, just because you never know if it's going to be your last time to enjoy it. Do I love Triceratops Spin? No, but I'm going to ride it every single time until I can't ride it no mo. That's exactly how that's going to go down. So, here's a little thing that came up this week. So, the Haunted Mansion, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the Haunted Mansion. It's a little attraction that they have at most Disney parks. They love to sell merch for this thing. If you look tomorrow, there's a ton dropping. So, get near your computer tomorrow for
Please don't
DisneyStore.com.
buy those Crocs. No
Do,
one.
no, buy the Crocs, dude. Um, there's a shirt. There's some Christmas ornaments. That hat, fanny pack for Patrick. But yeah, there's a lot of 20 new items are dropping tomorrow for the
Oh
Haunted
God.
Mansion, and again, this is to me the goat. This is the goat when it comes to Disney attractions, because even though it didn't open with Disneyland, it is everything I expect out of a Disney attraction. It's the classic song. Walt had his hands in designing the original. Obviously, he wasn't around when it finally opened up. But animatronics and just a great, it's a lot of fun. But there's an issue. There is some concern over the fact that when you walk into the stretching room and the ghost host says there's no way out, but there's always my way, and you look up and you see a corpse hanging. Nothing says family friendly more than seeing a corpse hanging from the rafters. And you know what? I mean, they're not saying it's going away, and when this opens up, it's going to open up in Disneyland. It's going to open up with the Haunted Mansion Holiday, which they cover that with a sheet and they project Jack Skellington on it. But when it opens, when it finally comes back, there is talk that they may not have the corpse hanging there. Patrick, thoughts?
First and foremost, we're talking about a very sensitive issue. If you or anyone you love is thinking about taking their own life, please call or text 988, which is a suicide and crisis lifeline. This is tough because it is a classic attraction. It is really, really in the history of the Disney parks, and I think we saw a lot of this when the changes were made to Pirates. I think if you do it well and you make a good change, I mean, you can just put an animation of someone jumping out out of the roof. I don't know. I would hate to see it go, but I'd understand why. It's not something you expect to see. It's also a blink if you miss it and you miss it moment. I'm very divided on this because I was all for changing the auction scene at Pirates, and then they did it really, really poorly. I've been of the opinion that Splash should change, and it seems like they did great with Tiana. So, you know.
Well, I mean, you bring up a great point about Pirates is like when they back in the day, anything could happen, I guess. So you had the Haunted Mansion, and you had Pirates, and Pirates was about pirates. Pirates were not friendly, go lucky, happy guys. They did bad things, and so you had the auction scene, and you had them chasing the women around, and you had debauchery everywhere. And then they were like, oh, we should basically scale this down. They're fun pirates. So, I mean, in the same vein, I mean, the Haunted Mansion is a house of death. I mean, that's what that is. It is 999 souls stuck in purgatory, really. And you've got a murderess in the attic. And, so I feel like it's got a lot of other problems, Stephanie. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't call those problems. I think that that's the intent. It's to bring you to the edge of feeling just horror and feeling uncomfortable about things and not exactly going all the way, and being gory and that kind of thing, but then kind of lifting you out of that in the graveyard scene and being, a little bit more fun. And saying they're happy haunts and this kind of thing. But I've been there, I've had death in the family. And after that happened and writing on the Haunted Mansion, I didn't find it as enjoyable. I'll be honest with you. But I also don't feel like there's anything wrong with the opening scene, honestly. And I think it's the first kind of, bam, in your face, jump scare, if you will. I will admit, I did not let my kids see it, when they're real little. I covered their eyes, but there's a scream and everybody else screams. So it's not like
Right.
they're missing out on anything. They're scared anyway.
Well, and like Patrick said, you can kind of miss it. If you have a little kid, you could block them from that pretty easily, I think. So, but I've also kind of thought through in my head, right? Like you can't get Paul Frees back to do more narration to change that back. And of course we could do something with AI or a sound alike, but even the dinosaur pre-show, the audio always bothers me because, they cut to another audio cut of Seeker, and it drives me bananas. But I mean, it's part of it now. But I'd hate to see that happen here. So what do you do? Say, of course, there's always my way, and the door opens. Of course, there's always my way here.
Right out.
Yeah, I don't know.
When I was a kid and I heard "There's always my way," I never even thought to look up at the ceiling. I don't think that I even realized that guy was there until I was a late teenager, maybe even early adult. And I don't think my kids have ever noticed it's there. I know when I was a kid and he said, "There's always my way," I didn't know that there was a literal way he was talking about. I thought that was just part of the spooky, oh, what is his way? Oh, I understand how it could be upsetting for people who that has affected their lives, but also, where does it end? Because there are people who might be upset by the bride because they have family members who are murdered. There might be people who are upset by the guy in the queue in like the bathtub or whatever he's in. Somebody's family member could have died drowning. Like, where does it end? That's the only issue I see. I understand, but it also, I don't know where it would stop.
Yeah.
Somebody had a head in a hat box.
What's in the box? There was Rosita commented, "Leave a classic alone." You know what? I mean, that's a school of thought too, is that we know the old saying that, like, I think it was Iger who said, like, it shouldn't be a museum. The park should not be a museum. Totally get that. But it feels like there should be some of these attractions that are sort of off limits and okay. Like, there are movies we watch that they on Disney Plus will tag and say, this is insensitive. We know it is, but this is the original. And so now you've got things like, It's a Small World is changed in California. with the IP characters, and you've got, all the changes, Patrick, you mentioned about pirates, and then now you've got these changes, possible changes. Again, they may change their mind on this. There may be enough of an outcry to people that says, you know what, this is okay. But, you made an excellent point, Desi. It's like it could be everything in there because it's just what it is. It's the haunted mansion. So it's gonna be interesting to see what comes of it. I personally would love the one in California, hot take, to stay year round. And I know, Patrick, you're going to hate this, Nightmare Before Christmas, because it's so good.
It's a trash movie.
Wow.
Comment below.
No.
Got a jack.
You're gonna take a classic attraction and put that garbage movie in it.
There's always a line. They're doing a VQ for it when it opens up. I'm just saying, people like it,
it's a great seasonal attraction.
If they take the one that's there and they make it Haunted Mansion Holiday year round, then anybody wants to see the other one, come on out to Florida. That's what I say, is that there should be Batu East and Tatooine West. I mean, we shouldn't have the same thing on both coasts. I just feel like that's a thing. Anyway, let's move on to the Country Bear. Speaking of things that are classic and museum-like and should never change, they're updating this. And again, I've been in the Country Bears before where it was just us and no one else. And it really is hard to clap your hands and stomp your feet and try to keep right up with them when that's just like three of y'all in there. So I like that it's going to be exciting again. For it's going to be brand new, but also part of me is like, I wish I could see the old one still from time to time if I wanted to. But they have announced that and this thing opens on July 17th, that the cast members are going to be able to see it the 10th through the 12th. And then there is a D23 Gold member. Oh, I see what they did there. Gathering with the Country Bear Musical Jamboree, and it looks like it's in like 3 shifts. And it's going to be the Bunnies Bears, the Bubbles Bears, and the Beulah's Bears, nice. 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m. on the 13th. So then we still have 14, 15, 16 seems to be unaccounted for. So here's the thing about this for me, and again, tickets go on sale for this tomorrow. So if you're a D23 Gold member, I think you can go and start buying tickets for this tomorrow. It's like $49 plus a $7 service fee, something along those lines, and it includes park admission, which I think is interesting. But it's park admission like at 7 p.m. So I mean, it is a little bit different, and also I assume pretty much every Gold member probably has a way in the park already. I could be wrong, but I look at this and I'm like, and again, I'm not sure about this, so let me pitch this to you, Patrick. Do you think this is like paid soft opening?
I guess, yeah. That seems to be a really good way to put it. It's a paid soft opening. It's hard to soft open things to the public, as we'll get to a little bit later about Universal. I'm sure we've talked about at length about Tiana. But yeah, paid soft opening. You're spot on there, Robert.
Thank you. And let's go back to the Haunted Mansion Holiday. Are we good there? Can we go ahead and make that happen? No? Okay, great. Where'd he go? He excused himself before I got a chance to pull him out.
Stephanie and I approve.
I wonder, though. I wonder on those days after this if they're going to be soft openings to it. It doesn't seem like there's any reason not to. Obviously, if it's ready enough for cast members, it's not like there's going to be too much happening. You've got a lot of moving parts with something like Tiana's Bayou Adventure, so you're testing it out when you're doing a soft opening. I mentioned this before, that I did technical rehearsals for the Bourne Stuntacular at Universal, and if it broke down, we couldn't complain about it because it's like we were just lucky to be in before it was open. And that's what I think that, that the same thing happens with cast, but it feels like if it's ready to open then, and they do this soft opening, maybe they could have done AP previews, or maybe they could have done DVC previews as well. It doesn't look like that's going to be the thing because we are very close to this thing being open, only 10 days away, but can't wait to talk about it once it opens up. Moving on to Eat to the Beat. The Eat to the Beat concert series happens during the International Food and Wine Festival. I always feel like I need to force in the word international. Like, it's on all the literature, but do we ever call it the International Food and Wine Festival? No, it's just food and wine. It's fine. But the announcement of bands that are going to be playing has come out, and it's a lot that we've seen before with the Boyz II Men show is going to be happening in November, which is, always a big deal. And then you've got the Fray, Sugar Ray, whole bunch on here. The ones that are new, like the Wanted, a couple others, didn't see anything that blew me away on this, but I assume, Desi, you will be present. What? Which one?
Come on, Yellow Card.
Oh, it's okay, amazing. Sure. Okay.
Magic.
All right. Well, I was going to throw it to Desi to talk about 98 Degrees for 10 minutes, but let's throw it to you first.
So here's how you know you're getting old, is that your favorite artists start to show up and Eat to the Beat and play it in grocery stores. Seeing a show and Eat to the Beat is great because you can sit down. I get chairs. I don't have to. I'm really excited. I am actually hopeful to be there for 98 Degrees. That is my plan.
What?
Hopefully it works out. I would love to see them, but I'm actually, the one I'm most excited about is November 1st and 2nd. Haley Reinhart, and a bunch of other people, and Casey Abrams. Haley Reinhart and Casey Abrams are both part of Postmodern Jukebox, who I have seen in concert a couple times, and they're a really, really fun band. So I imagine that's going to be a good show.
Okay. Before I move on to Desi, we do have a super chat. Thanks. Okay. All right. Stephanie filling in for Shannon tonight. It's from Rosita, a $20 super chat. Never forget, all of the WDWNT crew was in the Country Bears and was singing. I always have that moment. Great panel tonight. Oh, thank you, Rosita. We appreciate you.
And I'm glad,
glad you got to go and do that. Core memory indeed. So, all right. So let's talk about Nick Lachey for a little while.
I'm excited I get to see Nick Lachey with Patrick this year. That's going to be a lot of fun. My one request is play True to Your Heart. You have a song from a Disney movie. Why have you never, in any of the years you've been playing Eat to the Beat, done that song? Play True to Your Heart by 98 Degrees from the Mulan soundtrack. I mean, it should go without saying. Also, I have never heard of any of those people or bands Patrick called out other than 98 Degrees. I don't think I could name a single song from any of them. I'm sorry.
Really?
Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card?
Oh, okay. Maybe I just didn't know that's what the band name
was. Good times.
Can we
also
quickly, Rob, interject
Sure.
really fast and talk about their dining packages? Is it just me, or did the price just zoom up, just skyrocket? I feel like, I don't know, when did I wake up and actually see what I'm paying at these restaurants? But I feel like your best bet for sure is the Regal Eagle. If you're gonna go and do that.
Yeah,
100%.
no, I do agree with that. Here looking, we have the prices here for an adult, ages 10 and up. Akershus for lunch, dinner is $84, and the Beer Garden is $66, and Coral Reef $73, and Garden Grill is $79. But breakfast is where it's at. If you can, again, it's still expensive, but $64 breakfast, a lot, but that's an all you care to eat breakfast. And again, you're going to get that for $15 cheaper than if you ate there for lunch or dinner. Le Cellier, $99, sure.
Yeah, that
and
makes
then
sense.
Regal Eagle, like you said, $36. So definitely, my recommendation.
Why are we sleeping on Spice Road table? Moroccan food is delicious. It's probably my favorite food of any country I've been to. I will tell you that Morocco had my favorite food.
Well, again, $56, I guess, is not very bad. Is not bad for that, and that's what we did when we went last year. Is we did the for Boyz II Men, because I was afraid we weren't going to be able to get in Spice Road table. for that one, and that one worked out really well. But yeah, no, I don't think we're sleeping on that one. We like that one. That's a good one. So
Desi mentioned 98 Degrees Disney song. Does Joey Fatone and friends do, what's that, Wrecking the Camp?
Ooh.
No. You know what? I
They
always
did
thought that there
something
was
from
like
Tarzan, didn't they?
I always thought that there was a contractual issue with them being able to do that, and then I saw Demi Lovato live, and she did Let It Go. So I don't know if that's different. I have no idea because I don't think she was on Hollywood Records anymore by that point. But yeah, it's that is a head scratcher why they don't do that one. But there you go. Let's move on to talk about Hoop-Dee-Doo. I'm going to go ahead and throw in a disclaimer here. First of all, I assume every single time we talk about Hoop-Dee-Doo that you've got that bowl on hand and you don't.
I don't know where it is.
You can't find it.
No.
Where's the bowl?
Someone sold it on eBay.
Yeah, probably. Your daughter probably
Times
had
are
it. She was
tough.
probably, yeah, your daughter probably puts her chewing gum in it now, I think, is what happens with it.
She can't have chewing gum until she's 5. I don't know. Other parent told their kid that, and now that's what she sticks with. But yeah, no bowl in sight. I don't know where it is.
Wait, does she self-police that? Like, if you try to give her gum, she
100%.
goes, no, bad parenting.
Not till I'm 5. Yeah, no, rule follower.
That's awesome. I have to give this disclaimer every time. I've not seen this show. This is a piece of, see, that's, again, every time, that's the reaction, is that, but I mean, it's, when we go hard. We go there, rope drop to end of day in the parks. And so taking that journey out to see this, that's an event. And so we've just never planned that event, and I think we've got to do that at some point. But the original cast of the 1974, so this thing's now 50 years old. Clearly didn't open with the park, but the original cast came back and reunited for the 50th anniversary, and all they wanted for this event was to see Patrick's bowl. And he didn't have it. Patrick, thoughts on this?
This is really awesome. It's one of the best, most distinctively Disney show. And, we want to tie it back to the conversations we talked about earlier. There is a way to address changing cultural sensitivities, and they've done it really well. It has not taken away from the show. The show is still fantastic. The food is great. I wish I could remember my favorite waitress's name to shout her out, but she always brings me entirely too much Yingling. Go see the show, Rob. Go see it. What are you doing?
I know. I'm
day trips down there. Like, this is appalling.
I'm getting roasted in the chat. Jake says we're going, so it's happening. Wait, Rosita says she hasn't seen it either, though.
Come on, Rosita, pull it together.
Rosita!
You don't even like the parks that much. You stay in hotels. You've told us.
Come on, Rosita.
You just hang out on the porch.
I haven't.
Going.
I haven't seen it either.
Desi!
What?
And I live here. But
Come on
it's
now.
to get to.
What time is it in Tokyo? I gotta call Tom.
No,
don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's fine. It's fine. Well, at least we know. You know what? And as I've made that big high horse speech about it being too far, I went to Trails End buffet 2-3 times.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Clearly, I made my way over there. I just never did that show.
It's the same food, and you get a show.
But I have actually tried to do Hoop-Dee-Doo a couple times, and I just couldn't get in, and I gave up on it. So, at least I tried.
Okay, Stephanie, anything on this before we move on?
Oh, it's a very cute show. You definitely should do it once if you're going to call yourself a real Disney fan, Rob.
Ooh, wow. Roasted in the chat and IRL. Yeah, I know, right? Well, maybe she just
You
already.
tried. You at least put in an effort.
More opportunity, yeah.
Well, again, the last time I tried to pitch this to the family with a vegan and a gluten-free person in the family, they were like, no, let's not do that one.
I have had both their vegan and gluten-free options, and they are quite good. Although I know fried chicken would be kind of tough.
Well, yeah, you got to have the fried chicken, I hear, and you got to get your picture
All right, well,
with the
so
washboard.
here's what's going on.
Yes.
November 14th and 15th. Me and Desi, 98 Degrees. Me and Rob, ditch the kids, ditch the family. We'll head over to Hoop-Dee-Doo.
Yep. Live stream it. We're gonna live stream it. You and me. It's gonna be
No,
great.
let's not do that.
No,
I am not to be trusted on a live stream at a place with unlimited beer.
No, noted. Let's talk about this. Mickey had a little bit of a misfire here at Fantasmic, and for those of you who don't know, Fantasmic went down last year because there was a fire. But you can see right here, there's a picture, not a great still, but basically the sparklers, I mean the magic that usually comes out of Mickey's hands went off early, like while he was walking back up to stand and triumphantly put his hands out. They went out early, and that must have scared Mickey to death. But I got to tell you, he handled it like a champ. Steph, you want to talk about this one for a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. When I was working at Disney World in the character core there, I was always hearing rumors that Disneyland was so much harder to get to be in that, in that area. So because everybody out there are actors, everybody out there are top of their game, and they're all trying to make it and they all want to be the characters. And so Mickey did a fantastic job. Kudos to Mickey. But I'm kind of wondering, why aren't the pyrotechnics at the top of their game out there? I'm just saying, you're in the movies, you should know what's going on.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to play a little bit of this video. It's very small, but yeah. So you can see right there they go off, and then Mickey's making his way up to the top of the stage, hands flailing. But then he looks around and tries to do the hands again, and right here, and it thought, oh, they're going to go off again. They don't go off. And then he comes back and goes, oh, well, we're good. Yeah.
He imagined that they were there.
Yeah.
I just like that.
Mickey's a pro.
Right?
Mickey is a pro.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, yeah.
I would have panicked. I would have been in the rivers of America.
It's just, it was so well done. Again, I mean, the funny thing is when I go there, or I've been there in the past and have been able to see, because you can see this show from anywhere around the rivers of America. I just so happened to see it a bunch of times while I was standing in a line for Haunted Mansion Holiday.
It's again.
Oh, yes. No, I love Fantasmic. I think their version has a different vibe than the version that we see in Florida. And again, I've said this a million times. There's different values to each one. The fact that you have a stadium that is organized and everybody's got a great seat and all that is awesome in Florida. But just the quaint vibe of everybody, in a good day, the quaint vibe of everyone around the rivers of America taking in this experience together is amazing. On a bad day, it is a nightmare of a crowd, and it's very scary. But honestly, again, I don't think Mickey could have handled that one any better than he did. So again, kudos to Mickey. Let's move on to talk about as we talk about the entertainment quality in Disneyland. They are actually cutting back because of the union. There's been unionization there, and so Disneyland is cutting back on things like the Doctor Strange show, which is it's got a fixed area in a very small area anyway. Yeah, you've seen that, Patrick. And so that's what are you going to do with that area? It's just going to be decorative, I guess, at this point. But that show was always packed. It's a shame to see that go. And now my favorite parade, Magic Happens, is going to end 3 months early because, again, them trying to save a couple bucks on entertainment. Do you want to talk about it a little bit, Patrick?
No, that's why I put no in the thing.
Okay, well then let's go.
You put a camera on me though, so I'm gonna talk.
No. Nope, it's too late.
There you go.
Stephanie's gonna talk about it.
I am so mad that Magic Happens is ending early. I'm so mad. Don't let me pick your lotto numbers for your lottery ticket because I have poor timing, apparently. I'm going in September, and Doctor Strange is going to be gone. Magic Happens is ending early. What else? They're cutting back on the Avengers, action show or whatever at the
Dora Milaje.
Cutting back all the time. Dora Milaje. Yeah. They're cutting back on the Green Army Men. I don't know. Whatever else they're going to cut back on. And at least I'm going for Oogie Boogie.
Oh, you didn't hear? Oogie can't make it this year. Um,
No.
He boogied
no,
too
it's
hard.
fine. It's gonna
You're
be sad.
evil.
But yeah, and we had a story about this before too, about this huge Pixar fest that they're putting on, and they had this Club Pixar, and even Club Pixar was cut back because of it almost immediately after the cast member unionization. So there's the Club Pixar, the Doctor Strange, the Green Army Men, as you mentioned, and just in general, Disneyland and California Adventure entertainment reduced. Desi, do you want to say anything on this before we move on?
It's very sad. I mean, I understand why people want to unionize, but I feel like sometimes they're also hurting themselves when they do that. That's why Walt didn't like it. So I don't know. It's
That's
sad all the way around. I don't like it.
yeah. Well, I think Walt didn't like it for the same reason that the Disney company now doesn't like it, cause
Yeah.
money. But yeah,
Meanwhile,
it is
Mickey's
the
on fire.
but it is the Disney difference, right? And again, handle it like a pro. But it is that Disney difference. Some of the things that make the difference are the characters and the interactions we see there,
100%.
and those are the things that we love to see when it comes to Disney. And so it's sad when they cut back, whether it's Streetmosphere at Hollywood Studios or or some of the acts at Epcot, or again all of these, because they're crowded parks already, and it's nice to have other places to go and other things to see other than the attraction that you either have to pay for with a Lightning Lane multi-pass or a Lightning Lane single pass, like we had talked about before. So hopefully they find a way to bring some of these offerings back. Speaking of entertainment, though, there's a new parade at Universal, and I know that we don't usually, we're mostly talking about Disney, but every now and then we'll go off on a tangent about Universal when there's something big. And I feel like this was not big; it was mega. It was mega news that there is a new parade. You're welcome. There is a new parade there that features the movies, and the funny thing about this to me, and again, I know Desi has abstained from this one because of some hurt about Back to the Future, the attraction, but um, they have, the funny thing is, like, these are huge properties in this parade. You've got Jaws, Ghostbusters, and you've got Jurassic Park and Back to the Future, and a lot of it I'm looking at and going, yeah, these are the things you've gotten rid of, and you're just reminding
Yeah.
me that those things are gone. And so when I look at it, it looks pretty amazing to me. Patrick, did you get a chance to watch the parade?
Yeah, I watched the parade. You took my point. Like, why are they reminding us of all the things we don't have anymore? I'm not even a Harry Potter fan, but Diagon Alley is incredibly impressive, and the loss of Jaws sucks, but that's a really good land. And I feel like ET is there just as a tease, because I'm always worried about ET's longevity in that park. It looks like fun. The music is cool. Uh, they're not. I expected a little bit more because I always expect Universal to kind of go bigger. It felt very like '90s Disney on the floats, and also Universal didn't get something done on time for once. So I was pretty shocked by that. I would have expected one day them to just start doing parades at 6 o'clock and be like, yeah, we were going to do this the whole time. But the Jaws float is great, and so's Jaws in the new little lagoon show they have. It's cool too. I like that.
Do you think the Jaws is supposed to move? Like the parade footage we have, it doesn't move, but like the
I feel like it
dinosaur
should.
moves. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
it should move. I don't know if it's supposed to or not, but it should.
The part that gets me is the Ghostbusters, and I feel like if you were going to have the proton packs, you should have had something actually happen, even if you're squirting water at Gozer. Like
Yes.
them just standing there holding the proton pack going, like
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, it looks a little ridiculous, but they mix a little bit of like Frozen Empire characters up with the original, and again, the floats look very extravagant, and they're extending this, I think, until November, I think, is when you can see the parade, and maybe it's because it was supposed to start earlier with the nighttime show or the Harry Potter, but it does say. And again, this goes back to your lottery issue, Stephanie. It says on select nights, and so you could check out the website and see. But wouldn't it just go figure that like the one time you went to see this, that it may not be going on?
Yeah, that would be my luck. But what I was thinking when I watched this, I thought the same thing. The floats are incredibly detailed. They're beautiful. but they're static. There's not enough movement. Like on the very first one, Desi, it was Back to the Future. Go figure. They didn't have any kind of flashing lights to like indicate, the hyperdrive or whatever is
Flux
active.
capacitor.
Flux capacitor. Thank you. Couldn't they? And then they didn't have any. They didn't even have like a digital like time on there. Timestamp. It was just flat. It was flat printed on there. So I was very disappointed in that. What are the gyrospheres in Jurassic World? That should have been turning the whole time. And then they had people, I know it was technical rehearsals or whatever, they had people walking beside the floats, and that was strange to me. And then it made me think about, like you said, Patrick, like 90s Disney, like what made the parade so good. I feel like it's because there's an overarching song that kind of unifies the whole thing.
Good call.
And that's not something that they had. And they had specific music for the floats, but it just was kind of boring in between. They didn't even have dancers or anything. Well, they had the parade that marched, the drum corps that marched for Amity Island or whatever. That was cute, but they didn't really have anything going on in between. So I think it could be better, but it was a great start, and I loved the floats. They were really impressive.
Yeah, I think what seemed to steal all the thunder on Twitter was the mayor of Amity, like interacting with people, like, are you guys going swimming today? No reason you shouldn't. Waters are clear. Yeah. And then you got the other guy, the Roy Scheider character, going, no, he's lying. Like, I mean, but those are characters you could have in the park all the time. Why are Marty and Doc not in the park? Like, Doc you see from time to time, but why are Marty and Doc not in the park all the time? Why do we not see the Ghostbusters walking around all the time? Why do we not have Elliot? What?
Oh, the Ghostbusters.
The fingers
Can I
things
just
means
say,
money.
it made me so sad. Like, it was a great float, but it made me think about the show they used to have where they blew up the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man at the end. I loved that show.
But that's what we're saying. That's what Patrick and I were saying. It all reminds you of things that you can't. Oh, it's raining in Square 3. It reminds us all of these things that they used to have. They used to have Confrontation. If you never did Confrontation, that was an amazing attraction that you get on this train and you're going through New York. It was great. The Mummy attraction is great too, but I loved Confrontation, and they got rid of that. And then you get rid of the Back to the Future, the ride, and replace it with the Simpsons, and you get rid of Ghostbusters and replace it with Twister, which gets replaced by Jimmy Fallon. It's sad to think of them reminding you, hey, we used to have some really cool things that we just decided to change at one point or another. And some of these are like, I don't know, big time properties. And you can tell the love that people have for them when they do these, the tribute stores for the summer, and they have all the Ghostbuster stuff, and that people get really excited about it. Before we move on any further, I want to acknowledge another super chat from Jungle Cruiser. This is kind of funny. He said, Rob put the Haunted Mansion holiday at Walt Disney World full time. I hate it. Okay.
I would love to have it just once.
Just
once. One holiday season.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it? To like rotate that through and have it on different coasts at each time. So it would also probably mean there was less wear and tear on the building, because I know that was one of the things that happens is when they attach this overlay, apparently it causes some damage, which is part of what they're repairing when they take the Haunted Mansion down right now for all the things that are going to happen to it. So Jungle Cruiser, we appreciate you. Send it out. Like, if you have some pull out there, send that thing out to Florida, and we will take good care of it. It'll be a lot of fun to have.
No, we won't. We left Spectrum Magic out in the rain. We can't be trusted.
Look, I'm trying to do something here, Patrick. You're killing me, buddy.
I'm surprised Patrick wouldn't want it to come to Florida in that case.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing, is like, I've never experienced it. I've watched that video so many times. I've watched the behind the scenes on it. I just think the movie is bad. The attraction, I think the obsession with the two characters is worse, and it's just it's not for me. But I do like the overlay. I'm all for overlays. Overlay everything for every holiday. Stop being so cheap.
But you know what? Again, I think there's a balance there, because not everybody gets to go to Disney as much as we do, because we all go people in our lives, especially work lives, would probably say way too much. I don't think there's such a thing. But at the same time, there are people who only get to go once in a lifetime. And if the one time they go, it's, I don't know. It's what's the Ghost Galaxy at which I haven't done in forever, but at Space Mountain in Florida, then you don't get to experience the real one. I don't know. I think that should be Hyperspace Mountain all the time too. Hot take. Hyperspace Mountain all the time, and let's just change it all. Let's change it all. I'm not happy with overlays anymore.
Didn't we have a conversation like earlier, like 8:30, 9:30, excuse me, about how things shouldn't change and we should keep them, and now Rob is trying to change literally everything.
Yep. No, I say keep one. Keep the Tower of Terror and make the other tower the Guardians Tower. Keep the Space Mountain, Florida.
One has to be baseline. The other one could be whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I'm saying. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Really
that's all you want.
I mean, Space Mountain is great. Hyperspace Mountain, if they both existed, that would be cool to me. And again, they kind of do when they do the overlays, which is a fun thing. Let's move on to cabins. Speaking of things that should have stayed the same, I don't really care about this one. Honestly, I'm okay with the new cabins. Oh. And Patrick, you're nodding your head. Come at me, bro.
These things are most lack of functioning things they've ever developed. Why would you put the bathroom at the end of the house? So now if you have people sitting in the living room or sleeping in the living room, you have to walk past them to go to the bathroom. Why would you put right there, go back, scroll back, or you can get it there too. Why would you put a television on the side of the couch? How do you watch that? Did you watch it from the kitchen? Who designed this thing? These are professionals. They get paid lots of money. That's awesome. The light and the fact that you can adjust the light, that's gorgeous. It's really beautiful, but it is lacking in function, and it has very little distinctively Disney stuff. I do like a lot of the murals and everything, but man, the design of the cabin was so good because you could have people sleep in the living room and the bedroom, and they could be able to go to the bathroom without disturbing people. That is one of my complaints for the longest time about Old Key West, is that you couldn't. The bathroom was in one of the bedrooms, so people had to come into a bedroom to use it. The design of this is just terrible, and I wanted to love it because I wanted to be able to go and stay at one of my favorite places. I loved the cabins. I just think that they really, really botched it.
I got and I'm actually just making friends and influencing people in the chat here because they're like, "Boo, get him, Patrick." I agree with you. When we talked about this, when we talked about it originally with the layout, that was the question we were all scratching our heads, going, "Wait a minute." We think in terms of all of us when we travel, we take family, and so when we go, it's you've got it in your head, like you've got a certain place you stay because of the sleeping spaces and where you put what kid and how you keep things separated and all that. And the cabins, the original cabin, which I made it a point to go and do last year before they went away, were so quaint, rustic, and perfect in layout. They just really were, because you had the one bedroom at the end with the bunk beds, which if my kids were little, they would have gone bananas over that. We always stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge and Wilderness Lodge because there were bunk beds there. Yeah, the big bed, the bunk beds. You've got the porch. You can go outside and take a call or whatever you want to do on it. And you've got the bathroom there in the middle. But now you've got to walk through the sleeping space where maybe the grandparents are, or the cousin that you didn't mean to invite but you did is sitting in there and trying to sleep. And then getting all the way to the bathroom, you have to walk through that area, and it doesn't make any sense. You're right. And also, again, these rooms could be anywhere. They could be, when you look at these rooms, this could be a remodel of the Wilderness Lodge. You could tell me that and I'd believe you. So
also, just from somebody with a little kid's perspective, having the bathroom all the way on the other side, either I have to put my kids in the bedroom and I have to sleep in the living room. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to hang out in the living room because the kids are there. So I'm probably going to have to put them in the bedroom. And then when they have to go potty in the middle of the night, they have to run all the way to the other side. That's just bad planning. And there's lots of little kids going to Disney.
Yeah, that's true. Stephanie, anything before we move on this one?
No, Desi's absolutely right. I'm not putting my 1-year-old out on the pull-out sofa, the Murphy bed in the living room. Because if I get up and try to do something in the kitchen, she wakes up and she's up. So I'm going to put her in the bedroom. I'm going to have to sleep on the Murphy bed. The only thing I can think is maybe they put the bathroom at the end because then everyone doesn't hear who flushes the toilet.
Oh, well. You know what we should do is we should do a ParksCenter retreat, and all of us go and stay in the cabin, and then we'll just live stream from there, right, Patrick?
I don't have enough points. I'm all for that. If we can make it work points wise, yeah, dude, I don't care. Okay. Let's have a sleepover,
and we'll go to Hoop-Dee-Doo. We'll do Hoop-Dee-Doo.
Yes, and 98 degrees.
Yes.
Sleep it off.
God, it gets better and better. Everybody,
all the children in the far bedroom, make sure they go potty before they get there.
That's not going to happen. It's always going to be as a last minute distraction to make you let them stay up later. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, again, these things are up. There's nothing we can really do about them. There's a lot of stuff that we liked the way it was. I like that there's an upgrade here, but you could have upgraded the inside of the existing ones.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that layout and just had a
yeah. Well, they wanted to make it different. How do we make this different? Let's just put the bathroom on the end. Brilliant. Yes. That'll make it different enough that people will love it.
That person that said that got paid millions of dollars.
Yes. Oh, wait until December when the Poly Tower opens. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, you know what wouldn't have offended any of us? Reflections.
Honestly, it looked good. And they're still going to try and do it eventually, right?
Right. But if they had done that instead of the cabins or the Poly Tower, I think we would have been like, oh, cool, a new resort. Not something that's beside the Poly and messing up the visual of the Poly, or not something that takes away this thing that was special to so many people, but something brand new. The only thing you could have complained about with that is that it was on the bones of River Country, and 90% of people don't remember River Country existed.
Mickey's Backyard Barbecue. I remember that.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Same food as Hoop-Dee-Doo.
Wait. No. Hoop-Dee-Doo. What is that?
The flights on Avelo Airlines to where you are from where I am are not expensive.
So you can come and take me out? Cool. Let's talk Halloween to wrap this up. Again, we talked about Halloween last week, and Oogie Boogie tickets were still available as of last week. But now, Stephanie, because you're going, Oogie Boogie tickets, you got to be happy. They're finally sold out. They usually go in like 8 seconds. And you had Allie hook you up and get them for you, but they lasted. All the Tuesday dates were still available when last we met last Sunday, and now the Oogie Boogie Bash is completely sold out. It looks like it's going to be another great year for that. I'm excited to see how that goes. And, when we start talking about Halloween and Christmas this early, it makes sense to me for people who are going to travel and they're making their plans and they want to know, is Tiana's Bayou Adventure going to be open if I go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party? And the answer is yes. Tiana's Bayou Adventure will be operating during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which is good news. I think we assumed it. They announced it early before they announced the opening date for Tiana, and then they were like, oh, somebody shouldn't have done that. And they were like, oh, it's not going to be available. And then they came back and went, no, it is. We got you. It's fine. It's going to be open. So all the planning stuff I'm all down for. The fact that you can walk into a Disney park, though, and buy a Halloween shirt, that's the part that's got me a little confused. Again, the planning part I get. Sell the tickets now. Talk about the events. They released all the information that we talked about in last week's ParksCenter. If you go check it out, about all the Christmas and holiday offerings. That's great. But now as I'm looking at this and I'm going, Why? Patrick, are you excited for Halloween, spooky season, and would you walk into the Magic Kingdom and buy one of these shirts now?
No, because I buy my souvenirs to remind me of the time that I'm at the park. Unless I know I'm coming back for Halloween, I'd be like, oh, cool, let me grab my Halloween shirt so that way I have it when I get to Halloween time. But, man, it seems like the timing of merchandise really doesn't matter much anymore because it flows so quickly through the stores. I mean, there's stuff comes and goes, and it's at the outlets before you even realize it. I'm excited for the Halloween stuff. I always like the Halloween stuff. Disney does Halloween better than I think anybody else because it gives you the spooky without being worried someone's going to jump at a chainsaw as you walk out of the bathroom. Yes. Which was a big fear I had at Universal. I just got to pee. I don't like peeking around the corner.
Did you go to HHN?
I have, yeah.
And you don't like it?
I love it. I just would like it a little mellower.
Yeah, if it was really not so scary, you would like it, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, no, it was not even not so. It was like a little, like a smidge less scary. Like I need to be in an area where I'm willing to be scared. I do not want to be scared when I'm not in the. I need like when you play tag when you're a kid. I need base.
Yes.
You can't touch me. You can't touch me. You can't touch me here.
You can't scare me. I'm on base.
Yeah. Stephanie, I don't want to scare you, but here again are the prices for the dining packages. I know that's scarier than some of the Mickey stuff.
Well, I think that they have the shirts out already because the Halloween party starts so early. Like, Desi can attest to, it's probably like 200 degrees there, and there's fall leaves, and everything is spooky for Halloween, and it's August. And when we go in August, it's going to be like the third or fourth Halloween party already. So yeah, it's July, but they have to put out the merchandise or at least get it ready. I'm not doing any of the packages though.
You know what's so funny about the packages is like sometimes I freak out and think I got to get the package for the Candlelight Processional or for for the Eat to the Beat because I was like, again, for Boys to Men, I didn't want to run into the possibility I might miss it. But then sometimes you get there and you've got a dining package and it's like having a fast pass or a lightning lane for Figment. You get there and you're like, I paid all this money for this dining package, and there's tons of seating. Now I feel like an idiot.
Bended knee begging for a seat.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting you this shirt, by the way, Patrick. You and me, we're gonna get these matching.
Yes, I would totally wear that with you. It'd be adorable.
You and me, buddy. We're gonna go when we go and into the cabin on our way to Hoop-Dee, and we're wearing the Mabu shirts. It's gonna be fan-freaking-tastic. I cannot wait. It's gonna be legendary. Yeah. Too much fun, but we're gonna have to cut it a little bit short here. I would like to thank so much the panel for being here, but also our WIGS members. We love our WIGS, the WDWNT Interglobe Society. Thank you guys for being members of our Patreon. If you want to, it's our family, and if you want to learn more about it, you can go to patreon.com/WDWNT. Just a reminder, News Today is still on hiatus. There are a lot of people out there saying this to me about it, but we've got tons of live content still, so please come back and visit us for Deep in the Plus this Wednesday night. Patrick is going to make an appearance, and Jake was on the 26th talking about Stitch. Stephanie was on for the 3rd talking about the Liberty Story, which was a lot of fun to talk about. Descendants. Patrick and I are going to talk about Descendants and why he loves singing songs from Descendants on July 10th. And then Desi and the Star Wars panel will come back on to talk about the end of The Acolyte. And then Patrick is going to return to talk about Wreck-It Ralph. So we got a lot of cool stuff going on there. And, of course, again, next Sunday, another ParksCenter will be there for you as well. So if you are a WIGS member, we have a post show after this. So we hope to see you guys there. But if not, hope you had a great 4th. Hope you have a great week. And we hope to see you guys real soon. Take care. Desi, you were
that
flat.
last one Peloton? next to Pinterest? Is that a Peloton logo?
No, that's actually Patreon.
Oh, that's the Patreon logo. Oh.
Yeah.